I just found a talk I wrote a few years ago about attention. It was recorded but never published. But if you want to be a more effective speaker, specifically a more engaging speaker, there's a lot here you need to know. So I'm recording it again and sharing it with you now. Most people think of attention like a butterfly. We try to catch other people's as it flits about. A moment like this, a moment on camera, is about capturing your attention, and then the next person, and then the next, and trying to keep them all for as long as possible. But what if that idea is broken? What if trying to capture and keep is the wrong approach? Let's explore an alternative. I was watching a house be built and was there the morning they poured the foundation floor. I watched as the concrete came sliding down the chute, splattering the team who stood ready to transform it to a level, polished slab. Step one was setting depth, making marks where it was established, using what's called a float to connect the marks to each other. Few words spoken, all of their attention consumed by the task. And as they focused on their work, I was drawn to watch them. The time ticked right by. Eventually, floor was poured, truck left. During the pause, while the concrete was allowed to harden, I talked with the crew chief. How does the concrete cure? How had you learned to do it? I wanted to know more about the process and him and his story. Then the polishing started. The machine whirred as it spun again and again, meticulously purposeful circular patterns, slowly becoming smoother and smoother and shine. I was captivated. Why was that? Why did I become so engaged in what someone else was doing? Some of you might guess maybe because construction fascinates me, which is true. But I bet if you had been there, you would have watched as well. Others might think it was talent, watching a master perform a craft, but I don't think that's right either. At least not talent in the way most people think of talent. This kind of talent's not a skill per se. It's a talent people like Csikszentmihalyi refer to as flow. It's the ability to achieve 100% presence in a moment. And then for our purpose here, it's about considering whether someone else giving their full attention can be contagious. Back to speaking. When most of us try and imagine a speaker who captured our attention, we might remember how they used stories or language, or recall the rhythm and tone and texture of their voice, or a particular type of gesture. And then we try and learn to do those things so we can become more like them. But what if instead we just focus on how they made us feel? We'd surely realize the experience was immersive, no thought for phone or work or an issue at home, simply being 100% present in the moment of listening, time ticking right by as we sit alongside other audience members listening to a speaker who draws us to them. And then we could ask this question. What if it was their presence that did this? What if the power of their voice and their body language that captured our attention was not a trick they learned, but simply a natural, authentic outcome of their own immersion? This is the idea about attention I wanted to share with you today. What if it is not something to be captured, but instead is contagious? Well, the idea is simple. The idea that instead of trying to capture attention, we simply give fully of our own with the hope it will be returned. Well, that's easier said than done. There is so much noise that can prevent us from being fully present. We fear we might forget something we wanted to say. We may not like the sound of our own voice. We may be self-conscious about how we look. And most of all, we fear how our ideas will be judged. And this noise, it holds us back. It prevents us from being fully present. So we need strategies to overcome these fears. Before you go, I'll share 3 from my own journey I've found helpful in trying to become more present myself. The first is about learning to quiet the noise before we start, those voices that worry about what others might think. One part of managing that anxiety these voices cause is learning to quiet our own nervous system. One of the best ways to do this is through breath. So explore breath. Develop purposeful breathing exercises that help you quiet your mind, and you'll benefit in ways that go far beyond just the ability to be more present as you start speaking. The second, well, that's learning to stay in the moment. And being more physically active will help you. Specifically lean into gestures that help meaning making. Gestures that emerge naturally from within you as you get caught up in sharing a story or explaining an idea. You see, these types of gestures can help a speaker feel and become more present, more in the moment. And that being present in the moment, that remaining present in this moment, that's the space we seek. You see, these types of gestures can help a speaker feel and be more present in the moment. And that being present in the moment, that remaining present in this moment, that's the space we seek. And the third one is perhaps the hardest of all. It's about trust. And there are two parts to this trust. Trust in yourself and trust in others. Trust in yourself means believing there's a reason you have been granted the gift of an audience's attention. If we think of a presentation not as an argument to be made, but more properly as a present for your audience, an idea to be considered, trust yours is worthy. And the other part, trust in others. Trust in the audience with whom you're speaking. Trust the audience will give back to you all and more of what you give to them. And like much speaking advice, this is not just about speaking, but really it's about living. It's about choosing to decide how we do things. So remember, you have a choice. You can choose to let the noise and the distractions and the self-doubt and the fear of judgment prevent you from being fully present. Or you can choose to quiet those voices that distract. You can be more physically present. You can trust both in yourself and in others. These three things can help you become more and stay more present, more fully immersed in a moment. As we say goodbye, I thank you for the gift of your presence here with me listening. And I wish for you the curiosity to explore this idea that your presence, your attention can be contagious. Thank you.